Yeah, because I think it's easier, it's more convenient to listen to what grandmama said than what
it's a lot less
thus said the word of the Lord.
People than to study on your own, man.
Yeah,
it's a lot less work.
I was like, where did that cleanliness next to godliness come from? Benjamin Franklin said it. Yep, never researched it.
Yeah, it's not. It may have some truth to it, but that don't mean it's in the Bible.
That don't mean it's in the book.
Right.
It's in the book.
It's a lot of things that have some truth to it that's not in the book. If you just quote it to be quoted, that's one thing. But when you tell me, hey, that's in the Bible, that's something different.
They think they gonna get to heaven because they grandma. Oh, okay. See, they grandma was saying.
Hey,
all right. Are we okay? We recording?
It's folk religion, bro.
Okay. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Count it down. Hello. Welcome back. Hey, Pastor P.
What's up, man?
Tell a friend to tell a friend. Like, share, and subscribe. We are back.
Back again.
He got some more 49ers gear on.
Hey, all the time.
Every time brother. We on this podcast.
All the time, man. I'm going to represent.
It's 49ers gear.
And I got my championship jacket on, man.
Okay, the championship.
My championship patches on there.
Okay.
Yeah. So
the Cowboys got about 5 of them too, right?
I know. They got 5. We got 5.
Yeah. And so we even.
I'm pretty sure we're going to have 6 before y'all do, though.
That's what everybody say.
I'm just telling you.
That's what everybody say.
Hey,
that's what they all say.
Y'all been hollering Super Bowl for a long time. It's been a minute since y'all been.
Speaking of the Cowboys, I was walking one day because I be walking. I be trying to get I got to go to the gym after this.
Yeah.
And there was a guy, he was having a garage sale, and me and my wife stopped by. He was over there by you.
Okay.
And I said, man, you got a lot of Cowboys gear. I told you this story before.
Yeah.
But I'm telling y'all the story, right? And I was like, man. He was like, yeah, Jerry Jones is my buddy. And I was like, really? In my mind. I didn't say that out loud.
Right.
I said, really? And Jerry Jones was really his buddy. And he had been at a whole bunch of Super Bowls. Speaking of some Super Bowls, I got Pastor P some stuff.
Oh, yeah.
When I went there, and he had some real special stuff, like some of this stuff you couldn't buy.
Right.
And it was, I got you a game of official. These were the hats that they gave.
Official game cap, man.
Cap at the Super Bowl when the 49ers were in it. And then I had this special thing from Joe Montana that I gave to my brother. And I bought all this Cowboy stuff. So it was real cool. And, I be walking through the neighborhood.
Yeah.
And I'm meeting people. And, I'm telling people about church and stuff like that.
Right.
And he was just like, I guess he saw something in me. And he was like, I'm going to give you some. He just started breaking out special stuff. It was a garage sale. But he was like, I got all this other stuff. And he gave me a lot of stuff, too.
Okay. Nice.
So shout out to my neighbor.
Yeah.
Shout out to my neighbor. What's up, Pastor P?
Oh, man. It's
you
all
chilling?
good, man. It's all
you
good.
You was preaching yesterday.
Yeah, man.
You was preaching yesterday.
Man,
God was using you.
P for nothing, bro. I gotta be able to get up and preach sometime.
Yeah. So, but Pastor P be preaching. Yeah, and we will put that sermon in the description so y'all can go back.
Right.
So y'all can go back. So yesterday he came in to church in 49 regalia.
Yes.
And I knew he was going to be preaching, but he didn't look like he was going to be preaching.
Right, exactly.
And I was like, Pastor P, you look like you finna go work out.
Exactly.
But that all tied into the sermon.
Yes.
And so let me give you some background on Pastor P. Pastor P, we have mentioned that he does not wear a suit all the time, but as of late, he been wearing a suit. This is different Pastor P. I don't know. I've been knowing him for about 17 years now. It's different kind of Pastor P popping out.
Right.
So you've been wearing a suit. You sung on the last podcast. He sings. And usually when he's preaching, it is usually a sweater vest and a tie, something like that. Yeah, exactly. It's not too formal because he don't really do the suits.
A button-down shirt or a sweater vest with a tie, something like that.
But yesterday, using a T-shirt, hoodie under that, and then you had the gloves with the fingers out.
Yeah, man.
I was like, what is going on? But I didn't say nothing.
Right.
But when I walked into where we meet at in the back, you said you'll find out when I start preaching.
Yeah.
And I found out quickly, right? Because you was talking about training your faith, spiritual fitness, and so I stayed both services. And I absorbed it, and I really be going back, and like when Pastor preach, I go back. Monday is my day to listen to the sermon again.
Right.
No matter how many times I heard it on Sunday.
Mine is Sunday afternoon.
Yeah. So I go back and I listen to the sermon when I'm working.
Right.
Because the job I do, I have to focus, and I can focus in on the sermon and just hear it. So that's the thing I do, and I was kind of thinking about that today as I'm playing the sermon back in my head now.
Right.
I'm playing the sermon back in my head, and I'm like, okay, are we in a spiritual shape to deal with what's going on out in the world?
The answer is no.
Yeah. So quick.
Flat
so
out.
quick to answer.
Flat out, man. Ain't no point in beating around the bush. The answer is no.
Yeah, so we're going to go to the word early today.
All
and I'm
right.
not going to do any trivia. So it's Proverbs 6, verse 20. It says, my son, keep thy father's commandment and forsake not the law of, what does it say? Look,
I can't see
I'm trying
over
to, let me see. And it says, forsake not the law of thy mother. Okay, so my son, keep thy father's commandment and forsake not the law of my mother. Sorry, I was trying to read it. It was a little too far back. I had to lift it up. That first part, my son, keep my commandments and forsake not the law.
Right.
So I was just thinking about that. And I was like, okay, keep my commandments. Don't forsake the law.
That's it.
Keep my commandments. Don't forsake the law. Keep my commandments. Don't forsake the law. So you'll see these arguments online about the law and how it applies to us today.
Oh, yeah.
And there's difference between, moral law
And ritual law.
And stuff like that. We're not going to get into that. But I always got to let y'all know, being Pastor P be studying. So, but this is what I'm saying, right?
Right.
So there's always a debate about the law. And we're so involved in the debate that we forget that we need to be in spiritual shape.
Right.
So we can navigate what's going on right now.
Exactly.
So I'm sitting there and I'm like, okay, Pastor P got on the t-shirt, he got on these gloves, and you walk us through some things that need to happen.
Yeah.
Do you remember your first point?
Oh, yeah, man.
Okay, what was your first
You
point?
got to warm up your faith, man.
You got to warm up your faith, right? So we're going to walk through this today. You got to warm up your faith. So when I go to the gym, I never warm up. So I was really thinking about that yesterday. And so today I was on Instagram doom scrolling. And it's this.
I love that word, doom scrolling.
Doom scrolling.
Every time I hear it, I just smile.
Cause you just scrolling. And look, let me tell you, everything comes up. I had to ask God to forgive me. I'm like, please, Lord, forgive me. But it was this one lady came up and she was she was clearly into fitness.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, this kind of coincides with the sermon. And warm up was a thing.
Oh, yeah.
Warm up was a thing. So I go to the gym and I never really warm up outside of a walk. But maybe that's my warm up.
Yeah.
The walk is the warm up.
Yeah, that can absolutely be your warm up.
So Pastor P uses this analogy. He says, okay, before you exercise this faith that you have, right? You got to warm up.
You got to warm up, man.
Because you don't want to just jump in there cold and you break something or strain. You hurt yourself, right?
Tear something up.
Tear something up. And when you were putting that sermon together and you were like, I'm gonna come up here and I'm gonna let them see me in my workout clothes because I really want to get this point across. What were you thinking about? Like, okay, going back to the first point, how are we as believers not warming up?
Well, I mean, you have to think about it, man. Is that a lot of times we don't have our faith in action.
Mm-hmm.
And then, well, we don't have it in action until the trouble hits.
Oh, okay.
Until there's a major situation.
So that's the thing, right?
Right.
That is a definite thing where we don't build this relationship with God until the rain starts.
Right.
Now, I preached a sermon one time, and in the sermon, the sermon wasn't necessarily all about this, but it was. I told a story about how my wife prepares me for the rain.
Right.
She's like adamant that I have an umbrella,
right,
so I can be prepared for the rain.
I think your wife and my wife might be related.
Yeah. So, and when you say that, it's like we are not prepared
Right.
for life's storms, and we think that building a relationship with God is only asking for His hand
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
instead of seeking His face.
Yeah. Well, too many times, man. You know, we don't. Our faith is not active. We don't do anything with it. You know, we're not trying to grow close to God. We're not trying to get deeper in His Word. You know, and then all of a sudden, you know, a trial or tribulation pops up, and now we're expecting our faith to produce miracles.
Yeah, because we're like, okay, God, give me now. But you got to remember, God's timing is not our timing.
Right.
He's not on your schedule. He's not your
You're not your errand boy.
or your ATM card.
Exactly.
And you want to swipe, and you were like, okay, give me. I deserve this. But it's really about warming up your faith by building a relationship.
Right. You have to activate your faith. Your faith needs to be active. It's got to be moving. It's got to be doing something. You know, and the way that we warm up our faith is through our actions. You know, we say that we're in a relationship with Jesus. We say that He's our Lord and Savior. We talk about how much we love Him, but we don't see that in your actions. You know, and you know we're not serving, we're not witnessing. You know, we're not resisting, we're not doing anything.
Has that been taught? Because we were talking a couple of episodes ago. I think that some people are just checkbox people. They just come to church to check off the box.
Yeah.
They don't understand or recognize or maybe they do understand and recognize faith in action. They just don't want to do it.
Yeah. For some people, that their only goal is to not go to hell. You know, I just want to be saved from hell.
Yeah.
You know, the living piece, you know, the doing piece. But, you know, what they fail to understand is that, you know, even though salvation is free, there's still some requirements that they have to meet, because Jesus said, you know, if you love me, keep my commandments.
Yeah, and it goes back to what I was reading. My son, keep thy father's commandment.
Exactly.
Right. So those proverbs. So Proverbs is the book of wisdom. Solomon, who asked for wisdom to lead God's people.
Right.
And let's go a little bit back. But this is the son of David. This is the son of David, a man after God's own heart.
Right.
Who is flawed. Solomon is going to be flawed too. I'm just letting you know. Solomon's going to be flawed too.
Sure.
He told him not to marry, but you know, guess what? Solomon he did what he did, right? But there's a book of wisdom called Proverbs, and in the verse, in the chapters that I just read from, it is a father speaking to a son.
Giving wisdom to a son.
Yeah, he's giving wisdom to a son. So we have a father in heaven. And He gives us wisdom via His word.
Right.
So everything in here is pertinent to the life that you live.
Exactly.
And you can't negate the Father's instructions while living the Father's life. Does that make sense?
Right.
Yeah. So when you don't warm up, so it's like you come into church on a Sunday and that's it. And so I'm looking around church yesterday while you preaching.
Right.
And I'm not looking around judging people. I'm just looking around. I see people taking notes.
Yeah.
People are taking notes, and they're writing this down. And I'm wondering how it's impacting everybody, because I can see how it's impacted me.
Yeah. And that was really the goal of the message yesterday, man. Is I wanted to give something that would be, that would be not only just not just relatable, but something that was actionable, something that would be practical, that people could really take, and they could really start to put those things into action, and have it really deeply affect their lives, affect their walk with God, affect how they, how they behave and how they maneuver in this life. We really need, to understand. I've heard lots of messages, on faith, and people, tend to concentrate and focus, on what faith is. Everybody's, the faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence not seen. I get all that. I hear a lot of that stuff, man. But okay, I've got faith, but what do I do with it? And a lot of people
that's good.
have faith, and they don't know how to activate it. They don't know how to. It's like somebody giving you a credit card. And
you don't know what to do.
And they don't have any instructions on how to activate it. You get out there, you go to swiping the card in the time of need, and guess what? It ain't never been activated.
It doesn't work.
And
it doesn't serve its purpose. Yeah, it doesn't serve its purpose.
Work. So you have to know how to activate it, and you have to know. You really have to learn how to use your faith. And know that it's not. It's not something that. It's not something that you sit in the closet and pull out on special occasions and put behind the glass, break in case of emergency. My coaches used to always tell us, and I'm sure you've heard it, a million times. You probably said it a bunch, man. Is that if you stay ready, you don't have to get ready.
I've heard that. I ain't play sports. Yeah. I did play baseball for a minute, but that didn't work out too good.
But yeah, if you stay ready, you don't have to get ready. So if your faith is ever active, when things come up, you don't have to try to figure out what you're going to do, because you're already ready.
Because you're already ready, and that's what I took from that piece of it, warming up your faith. Like, so if there's a time when you need to exercise your faith, it's not a cold start. Right. So you take the small wins, you take the small little things, and you build upon that. Right. So what does that look like in action? Let's just say I'm a checkbox person. Let's just say Pastor Brandon is a checkbox person. Right. Well, let me sincerely start praying to God. Right. Let me figure out what that looks like for me to have a conversation with God. We had a prayer breakfast for the kids, and we were really teaching them like this elements of prayer, the elements of prayer, like what that looks like. Right. Because if you go back in Matthew, the Our Father prayer is there, and we talked about this before. I used to just say that. Right. Right. I used to just say the Our Father prayer. Right. Just say that. And not knowing that it's the preface is a model. You should pray like this. It's a model prayer. And you can really break down that prayer a lot. Your acknowledgement of the Father, acknowledging his will be done here before you even get to asking, right? Exactly. And in there it says, give us this day, only this day, our daily bread. Yeah. Because remember, tomorrow is not promised. Yeah. Yeah. So give us this day what will supply our needs this day. Right. So starting with prayer. So I'm a checkbox person now. Well, let's start building my relationship with prayer. Let's see if I can get a small win there. Right. I'm just warming up because I really don't know how to pray.
Yeah, you just starting conversation with God.
Yeah,
and we have a relationship with God, as children, and He's our Father. So you would talk to God like you would talk to a parent. Yeah. And you can tell your mom and daddy what your problems are. You can tell your mom and daddy, what your fears are. You can tell your mom and daddy, the things that you need, the things that you desire. So you can voice those things to a parent. And if we look at God on that scale, hey, I can tell him, what's going on with me. I can tell
definitely
him what I'm feeling. I can show my emotions. I think that's one of the problems that we have. Is that a lot of people, are afraid to vent their emotions. They don't, they hide their emotions from God. And I'm like, God gave them to you. He gave you those emotions.
Yeah.
So you need to be able to, to be vulnerable and be honest with God. And to be, if you talk to God, as a father, realizing that as a father, he understands.
He does.
And he knows.
He knows
what's going on with you. So,
and the Bible also says you should honor your mother and your father,
right?
That your days may be long in the land, right? And I'm paraphrasing, but it's pretty close to that.
That's pretty much what it says.
Yeah. But and what that's saying is, okay, we have a heavenly Father that we can't see,
right?
If you can't honor your mother and father that you can see,
right? How you gonna honor him?
How you gonna honor him?
Exactly.
So those are the warm ups.
Right.
You're like, okay, I gotta trust my heavenly Father, which I can't see.
Right.
So if I have a father in my life, or someone that's in that father figure, I gotta learn to trust them.
Right.
Right. If I have a mother figure in my life, I have to learn to be obedient and things like that.
Right.
Well, those are the warm-ups. That's where we're starting in real life.
Yeah.
I have to take some time to pray.
Yeah.
I have to take some time to read.
Yeah.
I have to take some, and you mentioned something like you mentioned yesterday. You're like, every time you read the Bible, that spirit of sleep come on you.
Right.
You're like, oh, okay. So you know what I do?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I do?
What's that?
I walk.
There you go.
I walk.
There you go.
So when I'm getting ready to prepare for a let's just say a Bible study, because I do that every Wednesday at 7:15 here in the building, 2020 Post Oak. And if you cannot make it to the building, you can watch us online, YouTube, Antioch Corinth. And on Sundays at 10:30
a.m.
10:30 a.m. Central Standard Time.
Yep.
I thought I would add the Central Standard Time because we got people across the board.
Exactly. Don't wake up too late.
Antioch Corinth, YouTube.
Yeah.
Some people just get up for the sermon part though.
Hey,
they like all the singing.
Hey, y'all
and
keep
then
all
just
the sermon. I'm just this word and
okay.
I'm going about my business.
All right. So, but I listen to the Bible via my headphones.
Yeah.
So I can absorb it, and then when I go back, I'm thinking about all the mental notes that I took.
Right.
So when I open up the physical Bible, that spirit of sleep won't get me.
Yeah.
Because when you said that, I was like, yeah, you know, sometimes you say, well, I'm going to read my Bible today.
Right.
And you get in 3 verses.
As you sit down, yeah. As soon as you
3
sit
verses.
Down,
you're like, 3 verses. You're like, no, wake up.
Your
no.
Bible got all kind of drools things
Yeah.
on the pages, man.
So I think we got to warm up our faith.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things you can do to warm up your faith. If you don't like being around God's people, well, you need to warm up your faith.
Definitely need to warm it up.
Because there's a lot of people who like, I go to church and I don't want to be, I'm out.
Right.
But you gotta break that and say, you know what? I may need to be around God's people, not for me, because somebody might need to hear my testimony. Somebody might need to vent. Somebody might need to do this. Right. So those are things just getting you ready for what God is finna God is finna bring into your life.
We strengthen each other. We encourage each other. You know, we help each other. You know, and that's why God's people, you know, need to be together.
Yeah.
The ones who is isolated is the first one that the wolf come out.
That's right. Because if it's you, so you may be the one who say, I'm good. I just go and I check. But you're isolating yourself. You may have a community outside of church that you flourish in.
Right.
And it's hard for you to flourish in a community of believers. Well, let me tell you something. I believe that the devil is counting on that. The enemy is counting on that.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm going to pull you further away to get you away from the source. It's like, okay, think about this. I got my phone. My phone is fully charged.
Right.
So I ain't worried about nothing.
Exactly.
But if it get down to that one bar.
When it get down to low. Yeah, when it get low.
What you looking for?
Hey, I'm looking for this charger.
I'm looking for the source. I'm looking for the thing to charge me up.
That's it.
My wife always tell me, she was like, you know what? You wouldn't have to do that if you keep your phone charged. You wouldn't have to do
Now
that
your
if you
wife sound like me. I tell my wife that all the time.
You wouldn't have to do that if you keep your phone charged.
Yep.
You wouldn't be scrambling if you already have this relationship with God, because
That's
you know
it.
it's already in God's hand. You know He's gonna take care of it no matter what it looks like.
Right.
You wouldn't be scrambling because you know that God don't take away the rain. He just provides you the umbrella so you
That's
can
it.
get through it.
That's it. Yeah.
You wouldn't be scrambling because, you know, when you came out of a storm, somebody else went into a storm, and somebody over here was about to go into a storm because y'all was all in community together.
That's it right there, man.
And you can see that they came out of the storm okay.
Right.
They might have got some mud on them. They might have got battered and bruised.
Right.
But they came out, and God is healing them to restore them. And they can tell you, hey, I made it through the storm.
That's
and you're
it.
like, what storm? And you turn around and
here it
storm
come.
is there.
Here it come.
So the warmer part, what was the second point?
Second part, man, is you got to stretch your faith.
You got to stretch. Okay, so the lady was stretching. So she warmed up
Then
and she stretched.
Yeah.
Now, she was fit.
Right.
She was fit, and she was older.
Right.
Not saying that she was old.
Right.
But she was in her 40s.
Right.
And she, like,
Even more important,
yeah, I was like, yeah, because the older you get,
the more likely you are to injure yourself.
the more likely you are to injure yourself,
Yeah.
right? So she's stretching. She warmed up. She stretched,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, I never stretch
Yeah.
when I work out, but really, you need to stretch those muscles.
Mm-hmm.
So you warm them up. Now you stretching them.
You stretch them.
You stretching them to be like, okay, because eventually you're gonna put some weight on them.
Right. Right.
Eventually, some weight is going to come. Eventually, you're going to be pounding your feet against the pavement.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to have to put something into action.
That's it. That's it. And you got to stretch those muscles out, man.
You got to stretch it out. So sometimes, and I really thought about coming out of my comfort zone.
Yeah.
Just coming out of your comfort zone, because a lot of times people like to stay in their comfort zone.
Mm-hmm.
So when you were thinking about that stretching your faith, what was going through?
The first thing that comes to mind automatically is a rubber band, man.
Mm.
You know, we
you did use that
Yeah,
analogy.
we have a rubber band. You look at it, you know, the rubber band, you know, is usually not very big, you know, but if you know, what do you do with a rubber band? Most of the time you put your fingers in there
Yeah,
and you pull it apart.
yeah,
And that same little rubber band now, you know, has stretched out. If I take a rubber band and put it on this table, the more I stretch it, the more surface area it covers.
yeah,
The more, you know, the more I pull on it, the further out it goes, the more area it covers.
yeah.
You know, and that's how we have to treat our faith. You know, we like to stay in our comfort zone. You know, hey, you know, I'm comfortable, I'm cool doing this, I'm cool being here, I'm cool around these type of people. You know, I'm good where I'm at.
I'm good where I'm at.
I'm good where I'm at. But you have to stretch it out. You know,
Mm-hmm.
have you ever found a really old rubber band
Yes, I have.
that hadn't been in use for a long time? And then you take that rubber band and you try to use it to wrap something up. What happened to that rubber band?
It pops.
It snaps.
Pops
It
instantly.
snaps. Why? Because that rubber band has lost its elasticity.
Oh, come on, tell them.
It
Tell
has
'em.
lost. You know, the
It has
thing
lost
that
it.
had, it has lost it.
The thing that makes it useful
It's now gone.
is now gone.
Why? Because it sat too long.
Can't sit too long idle.
Exactly.
Sitting
it
idle.
sat too long.
And-
And the moment you apply pressure, now it snaps.
It snaps.
You know how to recover that rubber band?
How to recover it?
You got to soak it.
Soak it. Oh yeah, if you soak it,
You soak it, it recovers its pliability.
yeah. So you got to soak yourself in the word.
That's it.
You soak in
You
it
gotta
for a
soak it.
while.
Yeah.
Soak in it for a while. It's good to soak in it.
You done dry it out. You gotta soak, man.
Oh, you say you dry it
You
out.
dry it out.
We all get dried out
Hey,
sometimes,
hey.
man. So you dry it out. But think about this: when you use that rubber band analogy, because you stretch that rubber band and you're like, man, I didn't even know.
You didn't know how far it could go.
You didn't know how far it could go.
Yeah.
And then whatever that rubber band goes around, it brings it together.
It brings it together.
It brings it together. So
it binds it.
So
together.
stretching your faith is so important because
Right.
this word has to go out to all the ends of the earth.
That's it.
Right? God has left us a great blueprint, but He also left us too
Yeah,
to
We all have a mission.
We all have a mission. We all have a charge to go out there and spread this word. And your life getting out of your comfort zone could be a great way to minister to somebody.
It's super
outside
important.
of the box.
Yeah, it's super important, man. I tell the story all the time, man. You know, we do those little personality surveys, man, where they talk about comfort zones, you know, whether you should be around, people or activities and stuff like that, and furthest away from people.
You seem so friendly.
My dot is way over there in the corner, and what that personality survey says is that Pastor Pettis has no business being around people. And I'm honest about that. That's what it says.
Pastor P is the nicest person on earth.
And I tell people,
he be cooking for people. He be volunteering.
It's the work of the Holy Spirit.
Amen. Amen. To
but
that.
when even when you find yourself, with that personality type and in that particular zone, if you stretch out. That's the thing that I learned, even with the personality type, that's like that. Sometimes, when you learn to expand your comfort zone, a lot of people have a comfort zone that's smaller.
Yeah,
they're closer to the middle of that graph, where they can be around people and they can handle different things.
Yeah.
So when they stretch out, they don't have to go very far to encompass what they need. But others, when they find themselves in a quadrant like that, you got to stretch a little further in order to get to the place where God needs you to be. Those are the things that I've learned over time and over the years. Is how to stretch out.
You definitely got me out of my comfort zone.
Yeah.
And I think that's a blessing. I always give Pastor P his props and give my pastor, Dr. Respis, his props. They did get me out of my comfort zone.
Yeah.
And in particular, you got me out of because I was not this person when you did that. A lot of people would meet me now and they like, he's outgoing, he will talk to you, I'll talk to you, I'm there, right? But I was not that person.
Right.
And as a matter of fact, I didn't want to be there alone. But I had to stretch my faith.
Yeah.
And I really had to stretch my faith the first day that I was there alone.
Yeah.
Because I was in a storm.
Right.
And that storm kicked off about 30 minutes before I was supposed to be here. And I wanted to say, no, I can't do it.
Right.
But I'm glad I didn't because it led me to here, it led me to ministry, and it led me to understanding that although I'm in a storm, although I'm outside of my comfort zone, although this is very, very much not comfortable.
Right.
This is very uncomfortable at this moment. It's bigger than me.
Yeah.
And so I started to warm up.
Yeah, it took a walk of faith.
Yeah, I had to.
An act of faith.
I was like, I got to warm up. And then I was like, I got to stretch.
Right. I got to trust this process.
I got to trust the process.
Yeah.
What was the last?
Yeah.
Oh, two more things, right?
Yeah, two more things.
Okay.
So the next one was resistance training.
Resistance training.
Yeah. And
that's when stuff pushed back.
That's when you had to deal with the weights.
That's when you got to deal with the weights.
Resistance training means that that there's an opposing force. There is weight. There is something that is having a negative impact
on what you're trying
to do.
So they have these things called resistance bands.
Oh yeah.
And these bands, they are meant to stretch, but they stretch via
you have to
the
exert
most
force
resistance.
In order to get it. Yeah.
So they require a lot of force to combat the resistance.
Right.
So these bands are made and they're meant to stretch, but they are meant to resist.
Right.
Said stretching.
Exactly.
So when life starts to hit you, you're like, hey, I'm doing the right things.
When the weight piles on, man.
I'm praying. I'm fasting. I'm doing all the right. What's going on?
Hey, the weight is coming.
Why is all of it on me?
The weight is coming.
Well, see, you trained. You warmed up first. You stretched
Right.
because you anticipated the way coming. I don't want people to think that when you get saved or when you become a believer that it's all sunshine.
Oh no, it's not a bed of roses at all.
Yeah, because a lot of the times you may look at it and be like, oh, okay, I didn't know I was going to have to lift the weight. I did not know I would have to exert this much force to get the result.
Times, we allow people to believe that them being saved, becoming a Christian, that God was just going to remove all of their problems and issues. And that's not how it works.
That's not how it works.
That's not realistic. That's not life. He promised us that he would be with us through it, but we still have to go through it.
Yeah, you got to go through. So thinking about that, so yea, though I walk through the valley, through the valley.
Yeah.
Yea, though I walk through the valley.
Right.
Like, so we're in the valley.
Right.
We're going to be in the valley sometimes.
Right. You have to be in motion.
Yeah.
You got to go through it. You can't stop in the middle.
You got to go through it. But the word through means that you won't be in there the whole time.
Right.
Because you're going to go through the valley.
Right.
But you got to go through
it. It didn't say, yea, though I'm in the valley.
It said,
yea, though I walk
through the valley.
Through it.
And the valley is going to provide the resistance.
Yeah.
And you got to be ready.
Yeah, we have to be ready. Into every life, storms are coming. Into every life, trouble comes. The Bible tells us that that life is short and it's full of trouble.
Yeah,
that's what the scriptures say.
That's what the book says.
They say it's full of it.
I got one kid in my class on Wednesdays. He always say, "That's what the book say." Always say that. He said, "That's what the book say."
That's what it say.
I'm like, "That's what the book say."
Yeah.
All right. What was the last one?
And the last one, man, was endurance training.
Endurance training.
Right. Because one of the things that I mentioned on yesterday, man, is that the way that you lift weights is you do it in short bursts. So the weight's heavy, but you exert the force, the weight comes up, and then you're good.
Yeah.
Endurance is a different thing. Endurance is ongoing. Endurance requires longevity. So you have to work out the muscle to get it strong, but you put it through endurance training so that it'll last.
And it will sustain.
Exactly.
So, like, if you're training for a marathon, did you see the guy who won the marathon who came from behind? So, was it the Los Angeles Marathon? I could be wrong, but you can Google it.
Right.
So, a marathon just happened. Guy A was in the lead.
Right.
He was about to cross the finish line.
Right.
It was in his sights. Test. Okay. All right. Are we still recording? Okay, cool. We got audio. Okay.
All right.
So sometimes we have technical problems.
It's going to be something good.
It's going to be something good. Yeah, when the microphone's cut off, right? Okay. So a marathon is being ran. There's somebody in the lead. He is about to cross the finish line.
Right.
He can see it in his sights.
Yep.
He is almost there.
Yep.
And it looks like from the video, he senses somebody is coming
footsteps
from behind.
Footsteps.
The number one thing he did, I think, in my opinion, I've never ran a marathon. I think he lost focus on the goal. We can lose focus. Just keep running. Just keep running towards the goal that God will have you to go. Don't worry about what somebody else is. You have a goal that God wants you to interact with.
Right.
You have a goal that he wants you to meet.
Right.
It's your path. So he's running, and you can just sense that he senses somebody is coming up from behind.
Right.
Okay, that's guy A. Now, guy B has ran this whole race, not in the lead. But he is determined.
Right.
That he is going to finish this race. And he sees two things.
Right.
He sees the person in front of him.
And he sees the finish line.
And he sees the finish line.
Yeah.
And what does he do? He says, you know what? I don't care what it looks like. I got opportunity.
Right.
As long as God is on your side. See, this is why these mics cut out.
Yeah.
I don't care what it looks like.
Hey, that's it.
You got opportunity.
That's it, man.
So he's running. And let me tell you, he was not close to him at first.
Right.
And he's running, and guy A, I know he can tell, oh, he's getting closer and closer and closer. He loses focus, and you can see his head turn a little bit.
Oh.
Once he does that, the guy is so close, he turns, and he bumps into the guy and falls.
Oh, my goodness.
Man, the enemy will cause you to stumble and cause you to fall.
Oh, man. That pussy.
Come on, Master P. Come on, Master P. So
Paul
he
said, run the race that is before you.
You run the race.
Don't worry about who running beside you, who running behind you. You run the race that is before you.
Because your goal is just to finish the race.
My goal is to finish.
It's for guy A, even if you came in second, you fought the good fight.
Right.
You ran the race.
Right.
But when he got unfocused and he slightly turned to see,
Right.
he bumped into the guy, or the guy but the turn messed everything up.
Right.
And he fell.
Yeah.
But the guy that was from behind, he ran through and he finished.
Yeah. That's how it works, man.
He finished the race and he beat him. And he was so distraught. Guy A, he just laid there.
Yeah. Yeah.
He might have been hurt.
He was probably spent.
Yeah, he probably couldn't. He probably didn't have enough to.
It's hard. It's hard to get started once you fall. It's hard to get up and restart.
It's hard to get up, but you got to get up.
You got to.
You got to get up. So that's why it's wise that you should start out, right? You should warm up. You should stretch.
Yeah.
Because that resistance is coming.
Yeah.
You know?
All of that's part of the training, man.
To help you endure this race.
That's it.
This race of life.
Yeah.
It will be in the description. Go back and listen to it.
Yeah.
And as a matter of fact, go back and listen to all the sermons.
That's it.
They all got gems in them. They all got gems in them.
Right. Yeah, you definitely have to train your faith.
You got to train your faith.
Training.
Come on, man.
Your faith
if we had applause,
useful, man.
if we had applause, I give it applause. But so I sent y'all something today. Did you look at it?
I didn't get a chance to look at it, man. I was running around. Truthfully, it did pop up until right before I got here.
Hold on. We got to do this, right? This is we keep it real on this podcast, right?
Yeah, go on, show me.
So
man.
I'm gonna show you.
This is the thing you put in the group, right?
Yeah, this is what I put in the group, right? Oh, okay. Hold on. Wait a minute. Wait. Searching. Okay.
There it is, right there. This thing right here.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna show it to Pastor B. Here you go.
Yeah, you're gonna have to show it to me too, because you don't got it on Instagram. So. No. Come on, man.
So I don't have the context, right? So I don't know, and you all didn't get to see it, but it looks like it's a pastor.
Yeah.
He is on a ladder, and he has two kiddie pools stacked on top of each other. He gets on top of the ladder, and he says, sometimes you just got to do a cannonball. And he looks like he's a little bit older. He jumps up and he cannonballs into a pool in the sanctuary. It was definitely in the sanctuary.
Man. Water splashing all over the chair.
The carpet, they had some of that blood of Jesus carpet too. The red carpet. So
man, look.
I looked at that and I said, what is going on? Like, so props have become a thing.
Yeah.
In the sermon. Props have become a thing in the sermon. So, and I'm not adverse to props.
Right.
I'm not.
My outfit yesterday was a prop.
It was a prop, yeah. Because okay, here's the thing: we live in a digital age where people's attention spans have been altered, right? So, you throwing a prop in there is,
right.
It's practical.
It was there to drive the point. Yeah.
Yeah, I had a prop. I forgot to bring it today, but I had a prop of an old Life magazine with Moses on the front. Right. And I utilized it to kind of correlate how God's timing is not our timing.
Right.
It was from 1964. It had went through so many things to get to the church that I utilized it at.
Yeah.
And it didn't have our intervention. God said, I'm going to have somebody create this magazine. It's going to do whatever it's going to do.
Right.
But in 2026, a magazine from 1964
right.
with Moses on the front, I was preaching out of Exodus, is going to get to this church.
Right.
And this person is going to utilize it to really say, I didn't need your help for this to get here.
Right.
But it got here.
Yeah.
You don't have to know everything that God's doing. He's working on your behalf.
Right. That's it.
And he can move things forward that you would not think.
Something that you think is insignificant.
And maybe you think that the magazine won't even last that long.
Right.
So I ain't got nothing against props. I don't got nothing against this guy.
Yeah.
But you saw it. He got on the ladder.
Wilding.
And he jumped in, cannonball, and what was so funny about it is they didn't trust those kiddie pools because they put like a cushion on his back.
Of course, yeah.
They were like, our pastor's not going to be hurt. But why did you let him jump into the kiddie pools in the first place? Have props gotten out of hand?
They have been out of hand, man.
Have they gotten out of hand? But
they have been out of hand.
And I want to look at it twofold. So I read the comments. So you can read the comments or go through it whenever. Right. I read the comments, and the point he was trying to make was valid. When I jumped in the kiddie pool, no. Because as a matter of fact, I don't go to a church where that's going to even be allowed.
Right.
And I don't visit a church where that's going to be allowed.
Yeah. It's it's interesting, man, because I'm all for, things that are going to enhance the message. I'm all for, things that are going to be, helpful to the sermon. But I do believe, man, that all things should be done decently and
in order. That boy jumped in the pool.
And, that I think that's where, where we've kind of ended up, where we've gone too far.
Hold on. You should have seen how Pastor P looked at me. Pastor P, did you want to say they went rogue?
Man,
they went rogue. I'll say it.
You notice I'm being real selective of my words right now.
Well, so here's the thing.
To,
Here's the thing, right? Look, I don't know what God's put on your heart.
Right.
But what I do know is he could have fell off that ladder. That could have went really, really bad.
Yeah.
And where do you draw the line where you say, okay, this may be too much?
I mean,
or maybe they're thinking that was not enough.
Yeah. And, for me, when it comes to things of that nature, truth of the matter is, man, some of it's just foolishness.
Pastor P is holding back. He's holding back.
I'm trying.
Okay.
I'm trying to choose my words carefully.
Okay.
But yeah, some of that's just plain old foolishness.
Okay,
man.
when you start that, I think you're gonna have to continue to do that because it's gonna be the next. Looking at the virality of it, the viral part of it, maybe it goes viral.
Right.
If it goes viral, if I got to jump in a pool and I can tell somebody about Jesus Christ, well, maybe that's it. Yeah. So, okay, I'm going to go out on a far limb here. So back in the day, there used to be a thing where churches would go out and they would street preach.
Oh, yeah.
I don't see that a lot anymore.
They do it in downtown Denton all the time.
They do it? It's street preachers? Okay.
Yeah.
So they have a bullhorn and they're preaching, or a microphone set up and they're preaching.
Yep.
So if you don't know what that is, it's probably going on in your city. Because I see it on college campuses.
Yeah.
I do still see it on college campuses, but I don't see it in the wild anymore. Well, I was one of the kids who would go with my mama as they would preach on the streets.
Yeah.
And then we would bring the trumpet and tambourines, all kinds of stuff to get the attention of the people that were outside of the church.
Yeah.
Now, what happens is you got a guy who is on a ladder and he jumps into that pool. He does get the attention of the people outside of the church.
Yeah.
So what do you say about that?
I mean, I can run naked through the people's attention.
Wait, he was fully clothed.
I'm just saying.
He was fully, yeah.
I can do that, but just because I grab their attention, doesn't mean that I'm reaching them. The goal, the attention grabbing, okay, you got the attention, but what is that doing for you when you get the attention?
So you may, okay, all right. Let's park there for a second. Okay, you got their attention, and then you do everything in your power to lead them to Christ. But I think it's a point where you get their attention, and then they're seeking the next thing,
right,
to keep their attention,
right? Because what drew their attention didn't point to Christ.
Yeah. So where's the line?
Exactly.
Where is the line? I'm trying to define the line. Is jumping in the pool over the line?
I think each man has to vote his conscience.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
Paul said,
I'm trying to get him. I'm trying to get him to come out. Right?
Like I said,
okay.
I'm being real careful with my words.
Okay.
Because at the end of the day, man, Paul said it very clearly, that, hey, if it's sin to you, then it's sin. And that there is no clear definition in the Bible about a man jumping into a pool from the pulpit. The Bible don't speak on it. It don't mention it, right? It don't mention in the Bible a dude coming down, and jumping on the trampoline in the middle of a sermon. It don't mention a guy coming in on a hoverboard. It don't mention a monster truck.
All of these things
It don't mention a
happened.
half-naked dude on a pole at a men's conference.
Yeah,
It
that
don't
happened
mention
too.
Somebody coming down, on a high wire and being slide, gliding down into. It don't mention none of that.
Yo, I see somebody do an Easter service in a casket.
Hey, things of that nature.
They wheeled the casket down the middle, and then they put it to the front. And he got out, and he rose.
We can always say that, hey, the Bible does not specifically speak against these things.
But
we have to be very cognizant about the things that we do and the representations that we make. When we are doing things and trying to stamp God on it, is he really about that life? Is he about because some of the things that you're doing? Because
we are a peculiar people, right? We are set apart. God doesn't call you to fit in; He calls you to stand out.
Right.
So I think that a lot of the times we tend to say, and when I say we, as the body, right?
Yeah.
The body says, you know what? I'm so focused on bringing the world to Christ that we kind of lose ourselves in that sometimes. With bringing the world to Christ is a good thing, but using the world as your example could not be a good thing, because this is our example. Right. So the things that the world is doing shouldn't be the catalyst for what we do. We can take ideas,
right.
We can see what's going on, and let me say this. This is not to say, there's an area that needs to be looked at.
Mm-hmm.
We analyze that. How do we incorporate that into the church?
Mm-hmm.
I think when you get to the point where you're flying into the church, and I'm not saying that's wrong,
Mm-hmm.
but flying into the church, I'm not saying that's wrong, but flying into the church,
Yeah.
I think that is going to cause the person who is not deeply rooted
Right.
to expect the next thing.
You are causing people to stumble.
Mm-hmm.
And when we see that and we actually begin to look at it, did it get more negative attention or did it get more positive attention?
What? So I saw that. So I'm going through just reels,
Mm-hmm.
and I saw that, and I was like, okay, whoa, this older gentleman is getting up on this ladder. They better hold him.
Right.
And what do they? I stopped.
Yeah.
I'm finna look at this because I'm not. I know this is a Christian reel.
Mm-hmm.
I know that it is based for a believer or trying to bring somebody in. I know the algorithm has caught that part of it.
Right. Right.
But I ain't looking at it for that.
Yeah.
I'm looking at
You looking at it to see if he gonna hurt himself.
yeah for the tragedy.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
like, I hope he don't hurt
Hey,
himself.
I'm looking for the church funny. That's what
yeah,
you're looking
the
for.
church funny is about to happen.
Yeah.
But he made it, and then so I read through the comments. So I understand why he did it,
Mm-hmm.
and so I was like, well, where do you cross the where's the line?
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm going through right, which this kind of bleeds to our next. What I was going to ask you about next, right?
Okay, go ahead.
So I'm going through, and then there's this money thing going around in the internets.
Okay.
People asking for monies and money. So it started kind of late last year with Shut the Doors.
Right.
And if you haven't, so Shut the Doors happened while they were taking an offering. Now, for that instance, I see it, and probably you see it for its totality.
Mm-hmm.
There is a procedure and a security measure
Right.
where Shut the Doors, when an offering is being taken,
Right.
will come into play.
Mm-hmm.
And I know somebody's going to look at me and be like, here they go.
Right.
Here they go, right? But out of context, and I'm not saying he was wrong, I'm not saying he was right.
Right.
But when you look at things from a, like, if you are running a church, we are the body, but there are individuals that actually keep the church, the building, and the body
Safe.
moving forward and safe. So, but there's a lot of, okay, we got people jumping in the pools, and then you got these clips that people are taking, just small little clips, where an astronomical amount of money is being asked for.
Uh-huh.
And the comments are going crazy.
Of course.
Like, why would I go to a church like that?
Right.
Now, we're looking at the line to draw people in with props.
Yeah.
Because there's preachers that use props every Sunday.
Right.
To do an illustration of the Word of God.
And some of the best sermons from some of some really great preachers, man, have had illustrations. I remember when my wife and I were going to Covenant, one of the things that one of our favorite preachers over there would do is he would do illustrated sermons. And and they would have props, and he did an Easter sermon, man, where they had Jesus out there and was whooping him and everything else, man, and it was lifelike.
Yeah.
But it was an illustration, and he's preaching, through these things while they're happening, so he would always have different props and whatnot.
Yeah.
I mean, some of our favorite members of the church, on New Year's, they would always come up, with these props,
Yeah.
Jordans come up, they have all kind of props.
Yeah,
and things of that nature. So I'm definitely not against props.
So is it just the take? So here and say, once I understood why this guy jumped into the pool,
you wasn't as mad about it. No
I
more.
wasn't as mad about it.
Right.
Now it is a far-fetched prompt.
Context.
Yeah, it is but the world is not going to see that. All they see him doing is jumping into the pool.
Right.
So that kind of correlates with when you see a pastor asking for this amount of money.
Right.
Now, I will say this: churches are not free, and the narrative is not like the ministers are just getting rich.
Right.
Most pastors in America are they're not vocational pastors; they're bivocational, and what that means is they got a job. They got a job. Like most pastors aren't afforded the opportunity just to be a pastor.
Yeah.
And as a church grows, the need grows. So for us to have lights, for us to have, we can go up to the electric company and say, we believe.
Yeah.
But
you better have a check in your hand.
But you better have a check in your hand.
You better be ready to pay. Yeah.
So my daughter, she comes to me and she says, she mentions the clip. I'm not going to mention the clip at all. And she says, oh, I couldn't go there. That's not like my church. And so I look at the clip. The clip is out there.
It's wild. Yeah.
It's wild. And I say, okay, let me do some research. What are they actually asking for?
Right.
So the clip is tied to a campaign to further a church need.
Right.
Whether that need is valid or not,
right,
I'm going to stop it right there.
Yeah.
And I'm going to say, okay, this is what they have deemed a church need. If you're on the outside looking in,
right, you just think they ask for money.
You just think that they're asking for money. So you may go to, let's just say you wound up at that church, right? You're there. And the series may be finishing out that need. So the sermon series and you like, oh, I went to this church 3 weeks in a row and all they preached about was money. Not knowing that that's a sermon series that is
targeting something
targeting a specific need, right? And you might walk out. Right. So again, we got props. We got money. How do we're walking the line there because we're living in an internet age that won't give you the full context. Now, before you answer this, Pastor P, there's a lot of people out here with shenanigans and money. They just ask you for, don't give your money to everybody. Right. Please don't.
Right.
Because this building does not make it safe. If the Garden of Eden wasn't safe, then this building wasn't safe.
Right.
Okay, but how do you walk that line?
Here, first thing, you said something. When your daughter brought you the clip, you watched it. You saw what everybody else was seeing, right?
Yeah.
And then you did the one thing that everybody else should do. Is you went and you researched.
Yeah.
Let me find out the context. It's the same thing that people do with the scripture. I'm going to take this verse and I'm going to use it because it sounds like, what I need it to sound like in order to further my agenda. But then if I go and do my research,
come on,
and I find out the context of it, then it's something totally, and a lot of times it's the exact opposite of what the person is using that scripture for.
Yeah.
And that's the same thing, with these internet clips. It's a small piece of something bigger. And if it's taken out of context, it sends a message that's not necessarily correct. And we have to be diligent about the things that we consume. We got to go and figure out what the context is before we pass judgment, or before we jump on the bandwagon, or before we take out our knives and pitchforks and torches,
chase them down the road, right?
Town.
Yeah,
we need to take the time to find out the context, figure out what's really happening, and then we can make our judgments. We can make our decisions based on that. Making decisions without enough information,
just what you see
exactly.
Because I like horror movies, and Frankenstein was remade this year or last year.
Maybe last year, yeah.
So I was terrified of Frankenstein. I would never watch a Frankenstein movie, even in my adulthood. And my wife wanted to watch this movie, and my daughter was telling me about it. She loved horror movies too, and so I watched Frankenstein. Now, my wife fell asleep, and I was like, "Oh my God!" I'm along with the monster. I had never seen a Frankenstein movie because I was so scared of Frankenstein.
Right.
But Frankenstein wasn't actually the monster.
Frankenstein was the doctor.
Frankenstein was the doctor. And the monster was what he created.
Right. Because the original title was Frankenstein's Monster.
Oh, okay. So you learned something new.
Yeah.
So you learned something new. So Frankenstein wasn't the monster that I was scared of that we see.
Right.
But he might have been the monster of the movie. Right. So we were looking at the actual monster. Without knowing the context,
right?
I was on the outside looking in, and really, the townspeople were going at him because they were on the outside looking in because they didn't understand what had happened.
Exactly.
And
they didn't know what was going on. They were just making an assumption.
They were just making an assumption. And in this movie, he was strong, and he might have been frightening to look at,
right?
But his intent was not that.
They were after the wrong one.
They were after the wrong one because
they went after the creation.
Yeah,
but the monster didn't ask to be created.
Yeah, so they going after so Dr. Frankenstein is really
That's
the villain.
One you need to get.
Yeah, he is really the villain. So with that being said, we don't. Okay, so you may see a clip. And you may see people asking for money.
Right.
It may be wrong. It may be right. But it goes back to what you said about me.
Right.
Now, I wanted to investigate.
Right.
Because I wanted to give my daughter a clear and concise answer.
Exactly.
Because when I looked at it, I was like, this might be you might be right.
Yeah.
But let me look at it because I have an insight to how a church works as an entity.
Exactly.
And a lot of people don't have that, but it goes back again to what you said. They should take the time, but I just don't think they're going to take the time.
You already know. Anytime you send me a clip, hey, when you look at this, or we gonna talk about this. That's the first thing I'm gonna do.
Yeah.
Is I'm gonna watch the clip that I got, and then I'm gonna backtrack and I'm gonna go and see. I want to go. I want to go and see if I can find the whole thing.
Yeah. So
so that I can have a really good context about what's going on, and then I make my decision. I might get heated from looking at the clip. I will not lie to you
because
I've seen some clips,
where it's like shenanigans.
And I'm like, man, look at this mess, and I might get heated, but then I'm gonna let that heat dissipate before I say anything.
Because I
try not to respond in anger. Try not to let my emotions get the best of me.
Well, what you're doing is responding in grace.
Exactly.
Because
let me
look,
go see.
Yeah, because Pastor Brandon's not perfect,
right?
And neither are you.
Yeah.
So I might jump in the pool.
Right.
I'm sorry, I jumped in the pool. Now, if I keep jumping in the pool, swinging in, I know where my intent is. Right. But I might say, hey, I'm gonna jump in the pool because somebody tapped me on my shoulder. Pastor, your word is so good. Your word is so good.
Well, let me see what else I can do.
But let me see what else I can do. Oh, you know what? You gotta go viral. And he was an older guy, so he might be like, okay, you sure this is gonna work? This is gonna go viral? Yeah, it's gonna go viral. And then you don't ever have to do it again, and you can just preach the word. Your word, what good is the word that you are preaching if nobody ever gets to the word of God? If you jump in this pool, somebody's gonna look at it.
Right.
Boom. If you swing in, and I'm definitely not defending because really you don't have to do all that.
Right.
Because God has been saving people.
That's it. That's it. Hey man, look.
Since his son Jesus Christ rose.
Sometimes we take unnecessary risks.
And he's had grace and mercy on his people before that.
Yeah. We take unnecessary risks sometimes to try to spread the gospel. And sometimes they work and other times they backfire. You know, so you gotta
It's some backfire.
You gotta count the cost, man.
Yeah,
you know, and I always look at it, man. You know, and I try to ask the question and use the answer that I come up with to make the decision. You know, and my question is, would the Holy Spirit be doing?
Amen.
And
that's
depending on how I answer that question, you know, and when I look at the things that I know about God and Jesus and the Holy Spirit, and then I think about the things that I want to do,
mm-hmm.
I have to ask myself, would they approve?
Yes, and that should govern your actions.
It's got to guide you, man.
It's gotta govern your actions because so even when you speak about money,
mm-hmm.
there was a viral clip. I ain't gonna go. See, I don't like to get personal with the viral clips, but there was a viral clip when someone asked for some money. The lady was in the line and didn't have the amount of money that was asked for.
Right.
And that could have been taken care of a better way.
Right.
Because you have to be led by the Holy Spirit.
Mm-hmm.
I don't believe you should, put somebody up. You got to be cognizant of, okay, this is going on the internet.
Right.
The way that you talk to this human being, this lady, is going out there.
And that's the thing, man. Now is that a lot of this stuff's been happening for a long time.
It's getting exposed,
and people are people have gotten used to it. And the reason that they've gotten used to it is because there was no accountability for it. There was no exposure, and now
the world can see
these things are coming out.
It's coming to light.
It's not like it's new.
It's definitely not new. You can go on the internets
mm-hmm.
and you can see people handling snakes.
Mm-hmm.
From back the 60s and I'm talking about rattlesnakes.
Right. And because somebody got a home video of it or something.
Yeah, you can see it.
It was just never made. It never made national or world news.
In church. This was in church.
Yeah.
They used to call it snake handling.
They still doing it.
Yeah, but that has been happening. They bringing these snakes in as
for a long time.
As a prop.
Mm-hmm.
People have died from that.
Yep.
Rattlers.
Yeah.
So use discernment.
Mm-hmm.
Everything that you see may be what your eyes see, but your eyes don't always see intent.
Right, because you can't see the spirit behind it.
And you can't see the spirit behind it. There was this I think it was a IG profile. It was preachers in sneakers or something like
mm-hmm.
that. And I wear sneakers all the time.
Right.
I do. And the goal of this from the outside looking in was look at these preachers in these expensive sneakers.
Uh-huh.
And I thought about that.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, well, I wear sneakers all the time and my intent is not to buy expensive sneakers.
Right.
I'm retail shorty.
Right.
I'm getting mine for retail.
Right.
If it's too much over, I ain't going. But sometimes I know somebody that knows somebody that can give me a pair of sneakers.
Right. And I think a lot of times, we're in a rush to judge people, over things like that. And I tell people all the time, I quit buying the most expensive shoes a long time ago because they hurt my feet.
I need some comfortable shoes.
And I'm all about comfort nowadays, man. I buy shoes that I wear that gonna caress my feet. And then, me standing up like I do and walking like I do, I need some shoes that are going to have, they're going to be sturdy and comfortable. I don't care if that pair of shoes costs $20 or if it costs $200.
That's what
I'm not after the price tag. Price tag don't matter. I have never owned a pair of Jordans, Air Force Ones.
No Jordans. We got to get past P some Jordans.
No, not for these feet. I have never owned.
He said, "Not for these feet."
Never owned a pair. Why? Because I've been in stores and tried them on.
They hurt. Jordans be hurting. Jordans be hurting
at all.
So,
and I learned a long time ago that everything that look good ain't good.
That's right.
And you got to be careful, but because a lot of times we want to do stuff because of the trend, and it causes more damage
than it does
you good,
Yeah.
And I used to wear, the Stacey Adams, Gator Stacey's and all
Gators.
that. I used to wear Stacey's to work. And
back in the day, they was hard bottoms all the time, no sneakers.
Bro, them things were fire.
To the baseball game.
And then guess what? I tore up my feet behind them Stacey's. And man, my feet got to hurting. Arches was hurting and didn't know why.
But I felt convicted, right?
Yeah.
I felt convicted at first. I was like, man. And then I was like, is that me? And then I was like, well, I don't. So there's this thing called resale.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't ever pay resale for them, like the sneakers I wear.
Right.
And I'm like, okay, I'm just buying it. If they get on the website, I'll just buy them.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I done got a hold of some ones that wasn't what they said they was.
Right.
But so I was like, well, that's not your intent. So if somebody took a picture of me and they're like, oh, look at his sneakers.
Mm-hmm.
Like I got some sneakers on right now.
Yeah.
And they're a rare sneaker. I'm not gonna say what kind of sneakers I got on, but they're a rare sneaker.
Right.
So right now, people are reselling this sneaker for a lot of money.
Right.
But I did not pay that. I got them when they was regular, and I just, I work in corporate, so I don't wear sneakers a lot, so I can keep and take care of my sneakers.
And I think one of the big things, man, is that we gotta stop counting people coins, man, and stay out of other folks' pocket.
Stop counting.
If they want to buy expensive sneakers, let them buy them.
But so
what's they got to do?
And look at me, I'm still like I don't get them expensive, right?
Yeah.
But I'll tell you this, right? So I have sneakers, and I believe God did convict me and say, you got a lot of sneakers that are not comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
What are you gonna do with them?
Mm-hmm.
So I began to give sneakers away.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been giving, and my mama always told me this. She said, don't give nobody nothing that you don't want.
So that's it.
So I've been giving good sneakers. I'm talking about Grail sneakers away. If they hurt my feet,
that's it.
I'm not going to, they got to go.
Man.
So I had bought this Grail sneaker, and I got it on sale.
Yeah.
It shot up in price. And I rarely wore it because I wanted it so bad, I got it a half size too small. And I wore it like once, and I was like, ooh, this shoe hurt. I wore it like 4 times, and I was like, I cannot wear this shoe anymore.
Yeah.
But you can't get it anymore because it's so expensive now.
Right.
If I wanted to buy it in my size, it would be ridiculous.
Right. You're going to have to pay a premium for it now.
Right. So God said, well, I'm convicted. You get rid of, you ain't wearing those sneakers.
That's it, man.
So I took a bunch of sneakers, and I was at a church, and the sneakers were in my car. And I seen one of the ushers, and I said, yo, man, I got some sneakers in the car. You always got on sneakers. What size you wear?
Pair, man. Come on, yeah.
He said, that size. And I was like, come on, pick out a pair. I gave him 2 pair of great sneakers. 2 pair of great sneakers. Do you know what this man did?
What he did?
He turned around, and there was a kid in church. He gave that Grail pair. He gave that Grail pair to the kid. He said, I don't need 2.
Right.
I just need 1.
Right.
And then the kid he was like, oh my God. And his mother came to me, and she was like, thank you. She was like, you just giving sneakers? And I was like, yeah, I can't wear them. So that goes to, we can end it here, right? So I was convicted. God says, I know your heart and your intention.
Right.
Allow me to guide you to do what you need to do.
Exactly.
So those sneakers have been getting in the hands of people that need sneakers, who don't care. Like, to see a kid light up to say, oh, you just gonna give me these?
Right.
Nothing is attached.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, those are you. So much so when the guy gave them, so he saw me give the guy the sneakers. The guy walks over. This is a great dude. I would expect him to do something like that.
Right.
Gave them to to the kid. The kid looks at me and like, what's I was like,
what's happening? What's
like,
going
no.
on here? Yeah.
It is. So his mother, she thanks me, but really, they blessed me.
Right.
It was a reflection moment. Remember Man in the Mirror?
Yeah.
He's talking about that. It was a
Exactly.
reflection moment. It was a moment to say, hey, you know what? I can do better.
Yeah.
And guess what? So now my son is going to do the same thing.
Yeah.
So he's an example.
There you go.
So with that being said, we talked about, exercising your faith.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about people using props. We talked about money in the church. We talked about sneakers, right? Mm-hmm. Whatever you are doing should be led by the Holy Spirit.
That's it.
Because that's why God left it here.
That's it. That's why he's here, man.
That's
to
why
guide us, to help us out along this journey.
To lead us and guide us.
Yeah.
Because life is going to be happening.
Right.
I've been just going through all of those sneakers and been like, I can't wear these. I can't this. And Pastor B,
go out again?
Yeah, we went out, but we back. Pastor B knows I like sneakers. But I was like, man, you just holding on to some of these sneakers.
Right.
Because I was like, I really can't afford to buy this again. But that's what I said.
Yeah.
God said, you know what? You still not thinking where you should be thinking. You talking about what you can't afford. You are blessed beyond measure.
Right.
You are blessed beyond measure.
Yeah.
You are blessed. Like it was like it hit me like 3 times, and I was like, you know what?
You don't have to hold on.
I don't have to hold on. Bam, here they go.
Yeah.
And I felt like $1 million
Mm-hmm.
when that kid was like, oh man, these are my school colors too.
Yeah.
I was like, that's what the sneaker culture is about.
Exactly. And you know he gonna get some use out of them.
I know.
And they gonna bless his life.
They're gonna bless his life. And I was like, he was kind of looking like, man, you giving these away?
Right. Because he knew the value.
He knew the value. And I was like, yeah. I was like, man, in my mind, I was like, man, these hurt my feet. Mm-hmm. And I know better. I ain't gonna never put my foot back in these.
Right.
Ever again. Right. I've been trying.
They're of no use to me.
They are no use to me. And I'm just sitting here holding on to them. And it goes back to God using certain things to convict you. So the intent of that sneaker IG may have been to shame somebody, right? May have been to the intent may have been to say, look at these pastors and they spending your money. Mm-hmm. But what it actually did was give me a reflection moment,
right?
And it helped me get closer to God, by letting go and letting God.
That's it. Yeah, one of the prayers that I say all the time, is, Lord, continue to bless me so that I might be a blessing to others. Because
come on, Pastor B. Right here.
What I receive from him, is not just for me. He provides my needs, he sustains me, he gives me everything, that I need and then some, but as a good steward of the things that God gives me, I don't hoard them. I can't keep it all to myself. We share the blessings. It's just like the gospel that we've received. The gospel, Jesus Christ, was the biggest blessing that I could ever get. But I can't hoard that.
I can't keep that to myself.
I got to share it.
I gotta share it.
Hey, when we receive
so valuable.
Good things, we should share those things with other people.
With others.
And and that I think that's what God has called us to do.
Yeah.
Is to, he blesses us, so that we can be blessed, but so that we can also bless others. He wants us to share those blessings with other people.
I definitely.
But it takes faith to do it, man.
Yeah, it takes getting out of your comfort zone.
You got to step out on faith.
It takes warming up that faith. It takes we bringing it back full circle. It takes stretching that faith.
Right.
You're gonna have some resistance. It's gonna be some endurance, right? So there's a song by Kendrick Lamar and BJ the Chicago Kid, and it's talking about just what you said. Mm-hmm. So Kendrick Lamar raps this whole song about how God has blessed him. Mm-hmm. And the hook is, I don't know why you keep blessing me.
Mm.
And he's saying that until the end.
Yeah.
And then at the end, he adds, so I can bless you.
Yeah.
So it goes through this whole like story of how he got blessed.
Mm-hmm.
And by the end of the story, Kendrick Lamar, his voice has inflected to almost tears.
Mm-hmm.
And he's saying, so I can bless you.
Right.
So God gives us something so great. He saves us from death.
Right.
Via his son, Jesus Christ. There's only one way. It's not, you can't skip Jesus Christ and just get to the Father, because that's
can't
not
go around him, above him,
above
underneath him.
Yeah.
None of that. You got to go through the door.
You got to go through him.
Yeah.
But when you do, you have a blessing, and that blessing is worth more than any ruby,
More
precious
than
metal
gold. Yeah.
that you could ever think of.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have the opportunity, bless someone else with that
Yeah.
by sharing the gospel.
Share it.
And that's what we're trying to do.
Exactly.
So thank you for tuning in. Like, share, subscribe. Hit that notification bell. And Lord willing, we'll see you next time.
All right. Y'all take care. Peace.
Take care.